Hello everybody, in today's video I'm going to be looking at the LFO device in Max for Live. The LFO is a native device to Ableton, so you won't be able to find it anywhere else in any other DAWs like Logic or FL Studios. But you might be able to take away some of the concepts that I mentioned within this video, so it might be worth sticking around and seeing what I have to say. So in this video I'm going to break it up into two sections. The first section is going to be explaining what the LFO does. And then in the second section, I'm going to show you how I would use the LFO in my tracks. So first of all, I have an audio channel set up here. So I'm going to go to the left-hand section here on Max for Live, audio effects, and then LFO. So this is what it looks like. It's really simple, it's really easy to use, and it's really effective. I'm quickly going to go over what some of these parameters are within the LFO and how you can use them within your track. So the first that I'm going to look at is the waveform. These are all the different kinds of waveforms that you can use within the LFO. This here is set to sine. I'm going to show you just a couple of them quickly. This is triangle, this is square, and then this is random. Obviously, all these waveforms will give your automation a different sound. So a sine is obviously softer, a nicer curve compared to triangle, which is a straight up and down. Random, obviously, it gives you a bit more of a random effect. Or square is essentially like an on-off. So that's that for the waveform. The next thing that we'll look at is rate. Here you can change how quickly the waveform is adjusted. So you can set it really slow to every 32 bars. These are bars here. There's a quarter bar, 1/64. We'll set it back to half so it doesn't hurt our eyes. You can also change it to hertz so it's not quantized to a bar. So something a bit more human about this. We also have depth, which changes how close the two values come together, so the top value and the bottom value. So here it's quite narrow, and there we have it quite wide. And then we can change the offset. So this is how high up the top value is, and then the lower value. So you can have it so for example, if I was to set the offset down to 0, it would stay at 0 and then only come up a little bit. And if I was to change the depth, you can have it only come up a slight amount there. The next thing that we can look at is jitter. If I change this so you can see more of it, if I add 100% jitter, you start to see that the waveform is essentially destroyed a little bit. But then you can also have smooth. This way, it kind of adds a bit more, I guess again, it's essentially more of a human feel. If you was to have it as quite a simplistic line, it feels quite robotic. And then stuff like this will just change the way that the parameter is heard a little bit. Finally, we have map, which is here. But to show you what this does, I'm going to show you within this channel here. So I've set up a bass channel here. Which sounds like this. This is just a preset within Ableton. And what I like to do with my basses is to adjust the cutoff of the frequency as it's playing to make it sound more human. So I'm going to include an auto filter here, which is a native Ableton plugin. And I'm also going to go back to Max for Live and double click on the LFO to add it to this channel. So I'd click map and then click on the parameter that I would want to change for this device. So in this case, it would be frequency. And then now you can see that the frequency is adjusted in the same way that the waveform is playing. So if I was to change this to square, it would be a straight on and off. So I'm going to change it to sine. I'm going to adjust the depth. And then increase the offset because I only want the frequency to come down a little bit. I'm going to keep it on hertz because I want it to be quite random, and I'm going to make it around 0.92 hertz just to see how that sounds. So I'll play it back and then see if I'm happy with it. It's quite subtle. Let's lower it a bit more. Maybe make it a bit quicker. That sounds pretty good. And that's just a simple thing that you can do to bass and change the sound slightly from the original preset that we've included here on this channel. So the next thing that I'm going to show you is how you can use LFO on keys. So this is the keys channel that I created. And I've used the SRX keyboards from Roland for this to show you how you can use devices that aren't Ableton native and how you can use the LFO for these devices. So I'm going to include an LFO again, and then normally what you would do on a native Ableton device is click map and then click on the parameter that you would like to change. But with something that isn't native, you'd have to go into this drop down box here, click configure, and then find the parameter within the VST. So in this case I want to use cutoff. Here it's not mapped yet. You have to close this, unclick configure, click map again, and then click the parameter that you want to change. So if I play this back now, you can hear that the cutoff is changing. So again, I don't want it to go all the way down, so I'm going to increase the offset. I'm going to reduce the depth, and then what I might do is maybe increase. No, we'll slow down the rate a bit and we'll listen back. Why don't we try changing the waveform and add a bit of jitter. Quite a squelchy sound, which I quite like. So that's one way that you can change the cutoff within the VST. I'm now going to adjust the echo. So I'll turn the device on, and then this is it with it just on, let's call it 50% dry wet. Just a really simple ping pong delay. And what I'm going to do is map the dry wet. So instead of, normally with the cutoff I've turned the offset all the way up because I want it to be on and then turned down a little bit. With this delay I want it to be off and then on a little bit. I'm going to slow the rate down. This time I'm going to use the fixed time rather than hertz, and then this is what it sounds like. Might turn the depth down a bit more. Let's try triangle again. Now that adds a bit more movement to our sound. So I've shown you cutoff, I've shown you echo, and finally I'm going to show you how you can use LFO to adjust a send. So I've already set up a send here, which is a reverb of, it's a medium stage preset within Ableton. And then what I would do, same again, click LFO, and then I would click map, and then I want to adjust the send. So I just click on the send box here, and then now it's adjusting the reverb. We can make it stay up for longer. So with the reverb coming in and out, it kind of makes it sound a bit more grand and gives it a bit more drive. So we've added texture with the echo, we've added depth to the sound with the cutoff, and then we've added drive with the reverb. So already we've got like this developed sound which we've created just using LFOs. You can then go in and compress, EQ, saturate, and then you've already got like this well-produced sound with quite little effort. Like the LFO device doesn't take a lot of effort to use. It's really quite simple and it's really effective. So altogether, I'm going to include the bass, the keys, and then I've just got a drum loop. This is from the I.O. Mullen sample pack from Sample Market, which I'll link in the description. It's a really good sample pack, and this is it all together. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it kind of gives you a bit of insight in how to use the LFO within your tracks. It's really simple, it's really effective, and there's so much more that you can do with it. These are just some of the basic techniques that you can use within your projects. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you want to see something else within these video tutorials, just comment below and I'll have a look at it. And I'll see you in the next one, where I talk about some of my favourite free plugins and free Max for Live devices. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.